Do you see any similarities from how he's playing right now with the Lakers than when you two played together in Miami?
I don't know about similarities, but he's getting a chance to show his full array of greatness consistently. And so, yeah, Luka comes, now he get to show his other sides that he's done before in different times. When he came to Miami, he played in the mid-post at first. Then he played on the ball. Now he's showing you he can shoot threes. Like, he's giving you everything in the game of basketball. What else do you want from me? And so because he's been great for so long and his body still can do what his mind say do, he just continues to show his full array of greatness. So I'm not going to say anything about him playing with me similarities. Like, I ain't with that. Like, we champions over here. So we ain't going there, bro.
I like when you talk like this, Chan. I like when you pop your collar sometimes.
Media's media. They know what to do. They was having this conversation about Luka being LeBron's favorite team. I'm like, they played 6 games together. How y'all gonna just Kyrie Irving's over there? Like,
be mad.
What happened to Anthony Davis? We forgot about him? Because not too long ago, Anthony Davis was the best player LeBron ever played with. They got to stop this.
All right, y'all, what's going on? So we heard what D-Wade had to say. He kind of said a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and start from the top. When he had mentioned that the similarities between what he's seeing now and the player that was in Miami, I'm with D-Wade on that one. Because I was seeing this graphic go around where they were comparing LeBron numbers that he putting up this year against his Miami Heat days and kind of, making it seem like that was kind of the same player. And I would just disagree. And I'm with D-Wade on that. It's just different. He was just a completely different player from the way it looked versus the stats, that's on the paper. The man was putting up 27, 8, and 7. And his shooting splits was 54, 37, 76% from the field. Like, that's not the same player in no way, shape, or form, in my opinion. The eye test. Stats might say one thing, but the eye test say another thing because we are playing in a different league. More spacing, the paint not as congested. And then he was a 4-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 2-time Finals MVP, 2-time MVP, and a 2-time champion. Like, come on, man, that's not nearly the same as his LA resume. Although he has broken hella historical records, it's just different and like how it looked. The eye test is just different. And he also touched on them being champions. He said we champs over here, so we're not even gonna do that. We're not gonna touch that. We're not gonna do the comparisons because him and D-Wade were champions. They won back-to-back rings together. He haven't did that with any other superstar in his career as far as being his running mate, his number 2. So Dwayne is correct on that. And I feel like when they compare these people, when they say Bron's best teammate, I feel like they think of, I look at it as 2 different things. His greatest teammate and his best teammate. I feel like his best teammate will probably have to be fit-wise. It was just beautiful with Kyrie Irving and then Anthony Davis. So I'll probably have to put D-Wade at number 3. Although they did win more, it's just the fit and like how he play Bron, like how LeBron play and how those guys play along or with him. Honestly, it might be a tie between AD and Kyrie for me, but we could talk about that in another video another day. And D-Wade did talk about how comparing Luka is kind of unfair, and I agree with that as well. Like, they only had so many games together, while these other guys had multiple years, at least over 4 or 5 with LeBron. So it's really hard to compare them, based on the longevity that these guys had with him. And that goes back to my point that I made, where people think the best player versus, the greatest fit and like what works for the discussion we having. He also said another thing that was my favorite, so I'm gonna let y'all listen to what D-Wade had to say.
Hate the comparison because it's unfair to Luka, first of all, but LeBron continues to play through different generations, and the game has continued to change, but it's no different than the playmaking I was doing. Luka is one of the best passers we've ever seen. It's a little easy to play make when that paint open. We played in the era where that paint was packed.
That's facts.
He touched on it being easier, to play make and do these things with that paint being wide open and with the game having so much space in these days versus when they played and the lane was packed. And I agree with that. So that's why I kind of respect those scores more back then versus these scores now. Yeah, they might have more skill or whatever that people like to argue, but they just do a lot more shooting and they dribble a lot more. But that's where this real inflation of scoring came from. Big men not really allowed to, stand there and be as aggressive as they was. And a lot of these offenses pull the big man out. And a lot of these, jump shooting big man nowadays, pull the big man out, so you're going to get that traditional big no more in the league. But that's kind of what the league is missing. And I don't even think we'll get back to that, honestly. Given the direction that the game is going in right now, I don't think we're going to get back to that. Because you see guys like Zach Edey and Andre Drummond, guys like that who kind of got that traditional big game and kind of can look at a place in certain offenses, but can dominate in a lot of these games because they still got that traditional type of game that I'm talking about. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about what D-Wade said. If y'all agree, disagree. Who is his favorite teammate? Like, who is his best teammate in y'all opinion? Let me know, man. Check Ball Sports. We gone.